All right, musicians, guess who's making the most money in royalties month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year, decade after decade? I can tell you, it is not the music stars on the radio. Nope, to your surprise, it is actually the people who make music for TV and film. Every quarter, every year, they always top the list making the most royalties. Now, if you would like to become one of those people, then keep on watching. I am Tynia Coates. I formerly worked for one of the biggest companies in the music business, BMI, for many years. I have helped thousands of songwriters and musicians with their royalties, from the smallest of the smallest, making pennies and dollars, to the biggest of the biggest, making millions. So I truly know the ins and outs of the royalty game. And with my series, Music Money Mondays, I'm gonna help you to step up your royalty game. So for the best music money advice from someone who actually worked in the industry, please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell notification so you can be notified when I post my new video in my series, Music Money Mondays, every single Monday. You don't want to miss it. Alright, so in today's episode of Music Money Mondays, I'm going to be telling you 3 ways of how to get your music into TV shows and film. And I urge you to stay tuned till the end of the video because I'm going to be giving you a free download sheet of a list of companies that can help you to get your music into TV and film. And I'll also be giving you a couple special tips at the end of the video to help you to make more money in TV and film. Yep. But you should just want to stay tuned anyways, because hello, I am trying to help you to make money from your music. And an educated musician is a money-making musician. So let's get into it. Okay, so one way to get your music into TV and film is to get your music to a music supervisor. Now, a music supervisor is the person who works closely with the director and producer to bring the music that is in alignment with the TV show, well, with the vision for the TV show, and also within the budget of the TV show. And now you're wondering, and how do I meet a music supervisor? Well, it's actually not that hard. It's very easy. Well, it's pretty easy, but do not mistake the word easy for quick, because it's gonna take you a little bit of time. Now, I'm gonna give you 2 ways to find a music supervisor. One way is to watch TV shows and look at the credits for music supervisor, then hop on the handy dandy internet and Google search their name until you can't search no more. Eventually, you are going to find some kind of contact information for the music supervisor. Even if it's just their social media, that is good enough. There are many musicians who have reached out to music supervisors through Twitter, Instagram, maybe Facebook, I don't know, but Twitter and Instagram, and their music was actually used in that music supervisor's project just from reaching out to them through social media. Now, if you do find them in this way, you're basically gonna have to cold email them or cold tweet them, cold DM them. So be sure to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. And also, if you are going to do it in this way, you have to make sure that in the file name of the songs you're sending them, there is a way to contact you. So I would advise putting your email address in the file name or the metadata of the song, because when it comes down to them actually using your music, they will take that song and they store it in this huge library that they have. This is literally their job, so they have thousands and thousands of songs in their libraries. They do not attach the message that you sent them with these songs. So if they decide that they actually like the song and they want to use it, but there's no way to contact you because it's not attached to the message you sent them, then they're not going to be able to use your song. So make sure you have your email address in the file name or the metadata info. And that brings up another point that I wanted to make with this is, if the music supervisor does not reply or respond to the message that you send them, do not be discouraged, because a lot of the time they're very busy, they're working just like everybody else in life. So they might just take your song, they do this often, they'll just take your song and store it in their library. And when it comes down to time to looking for music for a project, they'll just go through their library. So a lot of the time they won't respond to you, and that's okay. But make sure that you have all your ducks in a row and your email address is in that file name or metadata, so when it comes down to them picking your song, they can actually contact you. Now, the other way to get your music to a music supervisor is to go to music events, like music panels, music networking events. And before you start to click off of this video, because I know a lot of people will watch this and be like, those don't work or they don't understand how that works. They do work. I went to so many events when I worked for BMI, music events and music panels, music business events and music panels, and there are music supervisors there all the time who are meeting with musicians and exchanging information with them and being able, giving them the opportunity to send them their music, because that's what they want. They need that. That is their job. I don't even know how to stress that. Like, if that was your job in life, was to find music, you're not gonna shut off musicians trying to give you music. You're just not gonna do that. And at these events, it happens all the time. Now, I don't know about in the small towns, but in the big music hubs like New York, LA, and Nashville, there are these music events going on all of the time. There are so many music organizations out there who host networking events, music business networking events, and panels. They host them all the time. So you have to find out which organizations are doing that and join them, become a member of them, and start going to those events. And if you're a member of your PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, well, I don't know about CSAC, but I know about BMI and ASCAP. They have their calendars up on their website. You have to go to their website and you can see the calendar. You can see a calendar of events that they are actually hosting at their headquarters. And if you are a member, then you can go to those events. So you can look at the calendar for that, but I would not use that as your only purpose, because performing rights organizations are there for performance royalties. You need to also be looking at these organizations who are there to just literally put people together. And there are so many. Actually, I think I will give you guys a list of music business organizations that do the thing I'm talking about, but it's not gonna be in this video because hello, life. But I will put it probably in the next video or another video. All right. Okay, now the next way to get your music into TV shows, and this is one of my favorite ways and I think the easiest way, is to become part of a music library. Yes, so a music library is just a company that has close relationships with TV networks, TV producers, music supervisors, and they use the music in this library when they're making their TV shows. And when I worked for BMI, I worked very closely with a couple music libraries, and I also worked very closely with a lot of musicians who have their music on TV shows. And most of the time, they got these TV placements through a music library. So that is why this is my favorite way, and I think the easiest way, because I've seen it happen with so many musicians time and time and again. And I've seen them make thousands of dollars consistently quarter after quarter from their TV placements. So I think that this is the best way to go. Now, there are many music libraries out there, and actually my free download sheet at the end of the video is a list of a couple music libraries that I know about, and also I highlighted my favorite one that I worked very closely with at BMI. And honestly, this company has their music all over TV. And when I say all over TV, I mean all over TV. E, VH1, Sports, Discovery, ID, like every single network. I'm telling you, they have touched every single network, and they're still touching every single network. So they're an amazing company, and they actually work really, really, really hard to make sure that their musicians are getting paid their royalties. And I know, because I did this, I was helping them all the time. So they're amazing, an amazing company to work with, and they do good work. Now, one of my favorite things about music libraries is that you can submit your songs to them many times. That's not the rule for every single one, because every music library works differently, but a lot of the time, music libraries have a period of time where you can submit your music to them. And if they reject it, well, guess what? Don't get discouraged, because you can just send it to them again when the next period comes, and you can send it to them again when the next period comes. As long as you just try to make your music better to fit the needs of that music library. So that's like one of my favorite things about music libraries, and the fact that there's so many of them out there is what's not good for one music library could be good for another one. So you just have to find the one that works for you, or find the one that I guess you work for them. Also, just make sure that when you go to these websites, you read the fine print to know like what type of, their rules basically for submitting music. And speaking of reading the fine print, if your music does get accepted into these music libraries, make sure you read the fine print of your agreement, because when you become part of a music library, they will give you a standard agreement that they give to every person, musician that's a part of their music library. And what that will tell you is how they're going to control or own your music, basically. And with a lot of music libraries, what they do is they take a publishing share, they take the publishing share of your song. This is not true for everyone, but most of them, they take the publishing share of your song. but the way that they do this is that they retitle your song. So what that means is if your song is called ABC Blues, then when they take the song to put it on a TV show, they're gonna retitle it and call it ABC Blues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then they're gonna own the publishing share for ABC Blues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna still own the publishing share for ABC Blues, the original, but this is the one that they're gonna put on the TV show, and this is the one that's gonna be making the royalties from the TV show, and that's the one that they're gonna own the publishing share in. So make sure you read the fine print of the website and make sure you read the fine print of the agreement when you get accepted into the music library. All right, and my last way to get your music into film specifically is to go to film festivals. Yes, a lot of the time as musicians, you just want to do events, music events, but film festivals are where it's at, honestly. Like there are a lot of indie movie makers, filmmakers, documentary makers, documentarians. There's so many of them out there, and they don't have those big budgets because they're indie. Just like you're indie independent, they are indie movie makers. So they don't have as big of a budget. And in this day and age of Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming platforms, a lot of these indie movies, they end up on these big streaming platforms. So if you go to these film festivals and you meet these indie film makers, movie makers, documentary makers, then now you have an opportunity to give them your music and it be used in their movie, film, or documentary. Now, I'm gonna segue into my tips that I was gonna give that I mentioned at the beginning of the video because this is the perfect time to do it. But when it comes down to giving your music to a indie person, you can have a competitive advantage. Okay, so let me break this down. When it comes to movies, TV, film, and music, there are royalties that come from your music being used, but there's also the synchronization fee. Now, synchronization just means that you are giving them the right to synchronize your audio to their visual, and that's what makes it an audio visual production. And there is a fee for that, a separate fee called a synchronization fee. So there's a synchronization fee, but that gets paid directly from the production company, producer, director, whoever's making the movie or TV show, that's who pays the synchronization fee. And then the royalties from the movie or TV show come from your PRO, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, wherever you're from in the world. It comes from that. So there's two different streams of revenue that come from your music being placed in TV show or film. Now, this is the point I was trying to make when it comes down to the film festivals and the indie makers, is that you can have a competitive advantage at this point because a lot of the time, indie filmmakers, they have a lower budget than these big name films. So as much as they would want to use these big songs by like Rihanna, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, whoever they want to use this music by, a lot of the time their budget just can't. Because these big name people that are part of big name labels and stuff like that, they charge like hundreds of thousands of dollars for their synchronization fee, where you can just come in and completely waive that synchronization fee. And I don't want you to think in your head like that means that you're missing out on money, just because you're not getting paid a synchronization fee. Honestly, do not think that way at all, because that's a sure way to keep yourself from not making any money. Like, you're only missing out on money if you do not have placement in a TV show or a film. But if you actually get placement, well, now you're still gonna be getting the royalties. So maybe you're gonna not get the synchronization fee, but you're gonna be getting the royalties. And I'm telling you, those royalties from TV and film add up. They definitely do. You just try to get yourself in the door. And that's a good way to get yourself in the door, is to waive that synchronization fee. Is to make sure you're just getting the royalties, but to waive the synchronization fee. So then they wanna use you over somebody else because they don't have to pay as much money for you, but you're still gonna get royalties. So that's one of the tips. The other tip that I wanted to mention is that at the beginning, I mentioned that you should watch TV shows and look for music supervisor in the credits. Well, please don't just look at the TV shows that you watch. Seriously, do not just go to the TV shows you watch and that's the only music supervisor you're gonna contact. There are thousands of shows out there. Like, honestly, there's shows on like making shoes, there's shows on, I don't know, animals, police. Like, there's so many different shows out there, and all of these shows pay money. So Unless you just want to be cool, that's another question. Do you want to be cool or do you want to make money? If you want to be cool, then I can't help you with that. Like, you gotta go to somebody else for that. But if you want to make money, then listen to me. Look at the credits of these other shows. Like, literally just search 5 million TV shows. You can get your music onto any of them, but they're all gonna pay you money. They all are gonna pay you money. So it doesn't matter if it's on ESPN. It doesn't matter if it's on a show about saving the world or saving the planet or a boring economy show or finance show. Like, just get your music onto any show so you can make money. Do that. All right, so yeah, that is all I have for you today. But, oh, actually that's not all I have for you today, because I do have my special free download link in the description box down below, letting you know of some of the music libraries out there that you can submit your music to, and highlighted my favorite one. Yes, I did. But now you know 3 different ways to get your music into TV and film. So please go out there and try and do it. I would love to hear some of you on my TV screen. I would love to hear that. Oh, and while we're on this topic, please hop into the comment section down below and let me know, what are your favorite shows for music? Like, what shows do you love that just have the best music? I can tell you one of mine. I have many, but one of them is Shameless. I love the show Shameless. I have downloaded so many songs from Shameless. I really have. That show has such good music. But if you like this video, or if it was helpful to you, which I'm sure it was, then be helpful to me and give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I post my new video every Music Money Monday. Yup. Bye everyone.